Hello, once again my name is Roddy Randon, and today my topic is how to create a basic public speaking presentation. It's important that you understand that I wasn't always confident as a public speaker, so I'm going to invite you to travel back with me to my undergraduate experience that has prepared me for where I am today. During my undergraduate career, I was part of a scholars program titled the Ronald McNair Scholars Program. The Ronald McNair Scholars Program prepared undergraduate students for undergraduate level coursework. One of the requirements of this program was that students were required to conduct research and present their findings in a public speaking format. During this time, I worked with an instructor in the African Studies Department who actually helped me to work on a project that was about the Blaxploitation era and how the themes of the Blaxploitation films, which were films of the 1970s, the themes were recurring in contemporary films of the 1990s. It was a comparative analysis, and I enjoyed the research thoroughly. I actually attended a crash course, and my colleagues had informed me that it was a good idea that you use PowerPoint to present your research findings. I agreed to use PowerPoint, and I was also instructed on the day of my presentation to enter the room early and thumb through the PowerPoint to ensure that PowerPoint was working correctly. I followed the advice of my colleagues on the day of my presentation. The day we traveled to Penn State University, I remember this vividly. I entered the room and I plugged in my disk and I thumbed through my PowerPoint presentation and everything was great. Well, after I was introduced, the first part of my presentation didn't require PowerPoint, so I got through it just great. The second part of my presentation did require PowerPoint. So once I referred to the PowerPoint was frozen. And what did I do? I froze. And as a result, it was noticeable to my audience. I struggled. Every other word was and I can tell that my audience was not getting me. And as if I didn't feel bad enough, the first comment comes from an advisor from New York who actually indicated that I should have spent more time in practicing my presentation. Initially, I was annoyed by her advice, but I actually followed it, and she's the reason why I am here today. And once I attended graduate school in 1998, I instructed 5 sections of public speaking. I loved it. We learned the basics of how to stand in front of people and deliver a powerful message. That's what I'm going to share with you today in hopes that you don't end up in a situation where you are unsuccessful. So, the basics of public speaking requires a 6-step format. But before we jump into that format, I want to tell you a little bit about public speaking in general. Public speaking is divided into 3 major areas. Those 3 areas are delivery, content, and organization. Let's start with delivery. There are 4 elements or 4 areas of delivery. First is a manuscript. A manuscript is a presentation that is written out word for word. We see this a lot from our presidential candidates who are running this time during the year for the upcoming presidential election. The next is memorize. This is where the speaker actually memorizes their thoughts. Third, impromptu. Impromptu is just where the speaker just spouts out random ideas that have been unrehearsed. Finally, extemporaneous. Extemporaneous speaking is a combination, how I like to describe, of the other 3. The speaker is a little impromptu because they're speaking from their own experience and that they have already practiced the presentation. And a bit of it is a little bit involves writing because you prepare for it. And finally, it is a little memorized because you rehearse it so much. So the other three together, but the speakers prepare with a note card or keywords or phrases that prompt their mind to the idea or the concept that is upcoming in their presentation. So the first area, delivery. The 4 areas that deal with delivery: manuscript, memorize, impromptu, and extemporaneous. Second area of a speech is the content. The content is simply the what. What information are you going to provide during this presentation? It is the support material for your main idea. The content is going to support whatever it is that you're trying to get across to your audience. It also involves audience analysis, which requires that the speaker adapts the message to the audience. You don't want to talk the same way to children that you do to adults. So content, the second area, is the what, or simply the information, involves support material as well as audience analysis. The third area of a speech is the organization. Organization is divided into 3 divisions. Just like an essay, every essay has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's no different in a public presentation. So the speaker has a clear introduction, body, and conclusion. In the introduction, you tell the audience what you're going to tell them. In the body, you tell them, and then in the conclusion, you tell them what you just told them. So, organization, 3 logical divisions: introduction, body, conclusion. So let's review. The 3 main areas of a speech is content, delivery, and organization. Let's talk about the 6-step format. The 6-step format is a format that was introduced to me while attending graduate school at the University of Northern Colorado. And this information that I'm providing to you is an adaptation of the information that I have received while receiving my graduate training. The first step in delivering or developing a public speaking presentation is the wake up. The next step is this is important, get this, make the point, so what, clean up. Let's talk about each step. The first step, the wake up. The wake up is the first part of your introduction. So we're in the organization of our speech. Wake up has the ability for the speaker to be creative. It's the first words out of the speaker's mouth, and it's intended to capture the attention of your audience. So once you have your audience, you want to make sure that you keep them there, but you want to be creative in doing that. So in order to be creative during the wake up, some ideas may be to tell a story. It could be to tell some statistics or facts, or it could be to recite a poem. You could play music, or even do a dance. Something that helps to capture your audience's attention. The first step of your public speaking presentation is the wake up. Second step of your presentation is the this is important. This is important introduces your topic. It provides the audience with the reason to listen. It also prepares the audience for what's yet to come, what's upcoming in your speech. It is a step that says, hey, this is why it's important for you to listen, because it involves you. As adults, we want to be reminded while we're listening to other people. We don't want to just sit back and listen. We want to have a reason to. So the This is Important step does that for your audience. The third step of the format is the Get This. The Get This is the main idea or the thesis statement.